The movie begins in Oklahoma in 1906, where a lone rider is fleeing across open land, pursued by three badge-wearing men, Dunan, Stillwell, and their leader Ketchum. They finally run him down, and Ketchum demands to know where his partner Curry has gone. The man refuses to talk. Enraged, Ketchum ties him behind a moving horse, dragging him until he's choking for air. At last, the man breaks and points them toward Curry's trail, but instead of letting him go, Ketchum strangles him and leaves his body hanging from a tree. Not far away sits the McCarty farm, where Henry McCarty works the land with his teenage son, Wyatt, and his brother-in-law, Al. This would be a fine place for you to have a family of your own. I know you all would have thought the same. I ain't her, or him. By wisdom, a house is built, and through understanding it is established. Through knowledge, its rooms are filled with rare and beautiful treasures. Henry grew up back in New York, drifting from place to place before settling down as a farmer in Oklahoma and starting a family. Life with his boy is mostly quiet, but Henry is fiercely protective, and his strictness only grew worse after the death of his wife, Marie. Wyatt, meanwhile, resents the dull, hard life of a simple farmer. Henry's brother-in-law, Al, often stops by to help around the place and encourage Wyatt like a good uncle. Soon after Al heads home, Henry and Wyatt are trying to get dinner started when they spot a riderless horse wandering toward the farm, its saddle smeared with blood. Worried about whoever fell off that horse, Henry goes out to find him, while Wyatt calms the animal. After searching the pasture and nearby brush, Henry discovers a man lying face down in the dirt. It's Curry. He's badly hurt, with a bullet lodged in his chest. Henry tries to rouse him, but Curry is unconscious, so Henry packs the wound with mud and cloth to slow the bleeding. Nearby, Henry also finds a satchel stuffed with cash and a handgun. That tells him immediately this stranger is tangled up in serious trouble, and his first instinct is to walk away and leave Curry to his fate. But after a few steps, he changes his mind, turns back, grabs the money and the gun, carefully brushes out Curry's tracks, and hauls him home over his horse. When Henry returns, he and Wyatt start treating the wounded man. While they work, Wyatt quietly points out that his father has the same kind of scars. Henry, not wanting to dig into that history, shrugs it off. "That there is an outlaw on the run, shot off his horse. You think he killed somebody? Wyatt, I know just about as much as you. I've seen the scars on your body. 'Cause I ain't hid 'em from you. Maybe now you'll understand how you was raised." Henry tells Wyatt to keep pressure on Curry's wound, then steps outside to grab the stranger's bag and gun from the saddle. When he brings them back in and hides them in his closet, he doesn't realize Wyatt is secretly watching. By the next morning, Henry knows Curry won't survive with a bullet still lodged in his chest. He ties Curry's hands to the bedposts so he won't thrash and rides into town to find a doctor. A couple miles away, Ketchum and his men are already on Curry's trail, with Stillwell pointing out that Curry didn't cover his tracks alone. "Whoever helped him knows exactly what he's doing. Covers sign better than most I've seen." On his way to town, Henry spots the riders in the distance and immediately pulls up to watch them from cover. Stillwell senses someone is spying on them, but before they can catch him, Henry slips away and races back toward the farm. Back at the house, before Henry can return, Wyatt sneaks into his father's closet and is stunned by what he finds. Curious and excited, he grabs the gun and sneaks outside for target practice, since Henry has never allowed him to even touch a firearm. It takes several attempts, but eventually Wyatt lands a shot. Afterward, he puts the gun back and opens a wooden box to see what else Henry is hiding. Inside are pieces of old newspapers with headlines about a notorious outlaw and deadly gunslinger named Billy the Kid. What Wyatt doesn't know is that the sound of those gunshots has woken Curry. When Wyatt comes back into the bedroom, he notices one of Curry's ropes is loose and the other hand is hidden beneath the blanket. Curry stops pretending to sleep, slips his hand free, and lunges at Wyatt with a knife, demanding to know where his satchel of cash is. Wyatt is saved when Henry barges in, kicks Curry away from his son, and knocks him out. Henry grabs his rifle, ready to finish Curry off, but Wyatt begs him not to pull the trigger. A little later, Curry wakes up again, and Henry is preparing a knife to dig the bullet out of his chest, while also forcing some answers. You best think real hard about what you gotten yourself mixed up in. Funny, I was about to tell you the same thing. Curry is clearly terrified, but Henry calmly explains that if Curry cooperates, he might give him something to numb the pain. Henry manages to extract the bullet, and Curry finally confesses. He says he's a sheriff and warns Henry to take Wyatt and get out because the men coming after him are dangerous. But by then, it's already too late. Ketchum and his riders have arrived at the farm. Henry reaches for Curry's pistol and notices the barrel smells freshly fired and the cylinder is nearly empty, a sign that Wyatt has been messing with his things. Then he goes outside to talk to Ketchum and his men. Ketchum introduces himself as a sheriff and claims Duncan and Stillwell are his lawful deputies. He insists the man Henry is harboring is a criminal pretending to be a lawman. Henry politely plays dumb, saying he hasn't seen anyone like Curry, but answers Ketchum's questions without giving anything away. Ketchum perks up when he hears Henry's last name. McCarty is the name of a young fugitive from years back, believed dead, but rumored to have survived. Henry calmly says he has no family outside Oklahoma, so he can't be related to the outlaw Ketchum has in mind. Long while back, there was a fellow stirred up some trouble down Arizona, New Mexico way. Heard he went by McCarty. Wondered if he might be your kin. You got hold of the wrong pig. Henry sends Ketchum and his men off by saying he hasn't seen anyone matching Curry's description. Ketchum warns him to lock up tight that night, then rides away. When Henry steps back inside, anger boils over and he slaps Wyatt for using the gun. Wyatt blurts out that he just wanted to know what it felt like, since he's the only boy around who doesn't know how to shoot. Henry simply warns him, again, not to touch his belongings and hits him twice more. That's when Wyatt lashes out. You're a dumb, useless old man. You've lived your whole life and all you've got is this worn-out farm and a son who's going to leave you here to die alone as soon as he can. The words clearly wound Henry. He goes into Curry's room to pry more information out of him about Ketchum and his crew. Curry insists he really is the sheriff and that Ketchum and the others are bank robbers who murdered his deputies and stole their badges. He adds that he managed to recover the stolen cash, which is why they're hunting him down. But both men understand one thing. Ketchum will be back. A few miles away, Ketchum's gang sets up camp. Duncan doesn't get why they didn't just kill Henry and drag Curry off earlier. Ketchum explains he has a bad feeling Henry isn't just some harmless farmer. Any one of us could have dropped him. Then why don't we ride in and finish it? Not just yet. Because of some shaky old farmer? He didn't hold that pistol like any farmer I ever saw. They decide to hire extra gunmen before going back. In the meantime, Duncan is sent to keep an eye on the house and make sure Curry doesn't slip away. Back at the farm, Henry feeds Curry while he's still tied down and presses for more details. Curry ends up telling a story about the night he met the legendary Billy the Kid. To his surprise, that story is exactly what convinces Henry he's telling the truth. Henry cuts one of Curry's hands loose and tests him by leaving a loaded gun on the table and stepping away to refill a drink. Curry doesn't touch the weapon. Satisfied, Henry tells him to clear out that night. But just as he goes to fetch Curry's things, Dunan, now overcome by greed and eager to keep all the money for himself, opens fire on the house. Henry and Curry dive for cover, but Wyatt stupidly wanders into the line of fire and catches a bullet graze. Curry is hit in the leg and tosses his pistol to Wyatt before passing out. Wyatt grabs for the gun, but Henry snatches it away. Once they realize Dunan is crawling under the house, Henry hands Wyatt the pistol and quickly explains how to use it if he has to. Henry drops a book to distract Dunan and slips outside with a rifle. He fires a few shots under the house, forcing Dunan to bolt out the other side, then shoots him in the leg and drops him. Henry tries to question Dunan, but he won't cooperate. So Henry snaps his neck and feeds the body to the pigs, noting the strange mark tattooed on Dunan's arm. Later that night, while Henry is wrapping Wyatt's wounded arm, the boy finally musters the courage to confront him about his past. Once again, Henry dodges. "If you know I found that gun, then you know I saw what's in the back of that closet." "Who are you?" "I'm who I am." "Aren't you the one always preaching honesty? The truth will set you free." "I ain't never lied to you." Henry checks in on Curry, who's trapped in a nightmare, reliving the night Billy the Kid died, and the last thing Billy ever said to him, "Keep your head up, kid. You'll be all right." Henry then goes outside with his rifle to stand guard and keep any more of Ketchum's men from sneaking up on the place. The story cuts to the Hobbs farm, where Henry's brother-in-law, Al, lives. Ketchum and Stillwell ride up and start asking questions about Henry's past. Al refuses to give them anything and tells them to leave. When things get heated, Stillwell knocks Al out cold. The next day at Henry's farmhouse, he's getting Curry ready to leave. Curry is in no shape to ride, so he urges Henry to grab Wyatt and run while he stays behind to finish what he started. Wyatt protests, but Henry shuts him down and orders him to pack. They barely make it out the door before they see Ketchum riding toward them. Henry tells Wyatt to drop the rest of their things, but Wyatt can't stand the idea of abandoning Curry. "Leave the rest. We can't just leave him here to die. I ain't about to lose you over something that ain't our fight." "Your pa's right. I'm old enough to choose for myself. Whether you like it or not, this is my fight to end. You go. I'll be fine." By the time they're done arguing, more riders are already closing in. Seeing there's no chance to run, Henry decides they'll stand and fight. He opens his closet, pulls out his guns, hands Wyatt the pistol for protection, and walks out with a shotgun to face Ketchum. Ketchum admits he's no sheriff and tries one more time to squeeze information out of Al. The only thing Al gives him is a warning that rattles some of the outlaws. "You got no idea the hellstorm you're about to turn loose. Consider me warned." Henry orders Ketchum to leave Al out of it, but Ketchum shoots Al in the head. Enraged, Wyatt storms out firing wildly. Henry yanks him back inside in the middle of the shootout, then repeats to his son the same words Billy once spoke to Curry. "You near got us both killed, and that's all your tears and anger would have come to. Now keep your damn head down. You'll be all right." "Keep your head down. You'll be all right." "You were talking to him in Spanish. But he didn't kill you. He let you go. You're..." "Who?" "Bonnie." "What's she talking about?" Right then, Curry realizes the truth. Henry is actually Billy the Kid. Henry steps back outside to face the gang alone. At first, he pretends to surrender, causing the men to relax. Then he suddenly draws his pistol and shoots Ketchum in the neck, sparking another gunfight. Henry quickly drops most of the outlaws, leaving only Stillwell and a few others before ducking back into the house. Some men try to sneak through the back, but Henry is there waiting with a gun and a knife. He buries an axe in one attacker and shoots him dead. Another outlaw he shoots through the floorboards while the man is crouched beneath the house. Finally, only Stillwell is left. He tries to run but ends up face to face with Henry. At first, Henry seems willing to spare him when Stillwell surrenders, but the moment Stillwell makes a move, Henry is forced to shoot him. Henry notices Ketchum's hat lying in the dirt, with no Ketchum under it. Gunfire erupts from behind the pig pen as Ketchum starts shooting again. Henry fires back, and in the exchange, he takes a bullet to the shoulder. The two men stagger into the woods, trading shots from behind trees. Henry eventually lands a hit. He slowly approaches while Ketchum blindly fires his last rounds. Once Ketchum runs out of bullets, Henry finishes him off with a final shot. Henry walks back to the house where Wyatt rushes to greet him. Even though he's bleeding, Henry goes straight to Curry to treat his wounds. To stop the bleeding, he tears a sleeve from Curry's shirt and ties off his leg, then notices the same symbol Doonan had tattooed on his arm. Curry was part of the gang all along. Curry suddenly shoots Henry in the chest, dropping him to the floor. Then he lays out the whole story, how he and his real deputies once ran with the gang, realized Ketchum planned to cheat them after the last robbery, and tried to run away with the money first. Just as Curry is about to finish Henry off, Wyatt blasts him with Henry's shotgun and rushes to his father's side. Wyatt says he'll fetch a doctor, but Henry tells him it's no use. He's not going to make it. Henry warns Wyatt that once word of this spreads, people will say all kinds of things about him. He urges his son to go see the world for himself before he dies. When this all comes out, you're going to hear plenty about me. Some of it true, a lot of it not. Truth is, I don't even know who or what I was anymore. I don't believe in redemption. But a man can still find a kind of peace if he's had a boy like you to raise. The world's changing. You don't see it yet. It's a place I don't fit in no more. Wyatt grieves his father, then buries him beside his mother's grave. After saying his goodbyes, he heads north with the stolen cash, finally setting out to live the life he's always dreamed of.